Hi, everybody. Leo Babauta here. Great to be here with you. I hope that you will pardon my little unshaven state. Wanted to shoot a video as simply as possible because it relates to this theme of today's video, which is living a simple life. And so, if I had to do a whole bunch of extra in order to shoot this video, it would be going against what I'm talking about here, which is the theme of simplicity. So, I'm going to talk about living a simple life and give you some musings, some ideas, some tips for what that might, for how you might live that simple life. This is something that I have been exploring since the 1990s, early 90s, is a thing that I kind of latched onto. There were a few different writers who turned me on to the theme of living a simple life, and then I started to explore it on my own. And then in the 2000s, that's when I started writing about it, and it's become like a big central theme to what I write about, along with minimalism and facing difficult things with courage, and a number of other themes. Simplicity and minimalism are two of my biggest themes at Zen Habits, and here in the Zen Habits YouTube channel as well. And it's something that I discovered has resonated with a lot of people. So let's talk about living the simple life and then some tips, some musings on how to do that. And by the way, if you want to dive deeper into this, I'm not sure when you're watching this, but in September 2025, as I publish this, we are going deeper into this in my Fearless Living Academy, which I'll put a link below. I'm putting out 4 different lessons and a little mini course on simplicity in Fearless Living Academy. So if you want to go deeper and dive in with me and others, and actually put this into action, Fearless Living Academy. Even if you watch this after September, there will be those lessons will be there, so you can still come in no matter when you're watching this in the future. Okay, so what is a simple life? Well, for me, I mean, it could look like a lot of different ways, right? So, there are people who live in a cave with one set of clothing, and then there are others who live as nomads, digital nomads living around the world, working out of a laptop and a backpack, out of hostels or coffee shops. And so that's one way. And for me, I live with a family, right? I have a wife and I have kids. My kids are grown now, but a few of them still live with us. And so that's going to be different than the digital nomad. And so if you have a family, if you have a house, I don't own a house, I rent, but um, I live fairly simply for the kind of size of the family and the life that I live. So for me, living a simple life is really, how do I reduce my life to its essentials? And that question really causes me to reflect on what are the essentials. And so this is an exercise that I have done repeatedly over the years. I do it at least once a year. Um, but every once in a while, I will sit down and ask myself, what are my essentials? It's what I did when I first started this journey in the 90s. I did it again when I was simplifying again in the 2000s and started Zen Habits. I asked myself, what is essential to me? So that's actually the first tip or suggestion that I might have for you, is to ask yourself, what is essential to you? And so one thing I really like doing is making a really short list of the things in my life that are super important that I can't live without, or that I don't want to live without, right? Of course, I could live without my wife and kids, and other loved ones. I could, but that's not what I want. To me, they're important to me. So I made a list of what I really want in my life, the kind of activities or things that I find most essential. If I had very limited, days left, what would I want to spend my time on? So it's what I want to spend my time on. And then I also like to make a second list, and this is my second tip, is what are the possessions that I wouldn't want to live without? And so I really like this because it's really a fun exercise. So, what are the things that I want to spend my time on that are essential? Well, I like writing and creating, creating this video. I like reading. Reading and learning are two big ones for me. So I like writing and reading. I like some kind of physical activity, a sport. Lately, I've been into basketball. I've also been into running and hiking and walking. Um, at one point I did triathlons. Another time I was doing go ruck or like rucking. I did CrossFit. So those kinds of things are really interesting to me. They might not be for you, right? So that, I've done yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and yoga would be another one. So we have writing and creating, reading and learning, some kind of physical activity or sport, and then mindfulness, meditation type practices. And then, spending time with my family, my loved ones, my friends, my closest friends. And really, I only need a handful of those for me. I have close family from my mom and siblings to my wife and kids to a few other close family members. And so for me, it's like that's what I want to spend my time on. And even if they don't live near me, I'm going to do calls with them, video calls, phone calls while I'm out for a walk. So that's what I want to spend my time on. Is there anything else? I think that actually covers most of it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really find essential. Nope, that's it. Right now, I'm learning chess. Right, I've talked about this before. Chess is something that is essential to me. Could I do without it? Of course. Could I do without books? Probably if I had to, but I don't want to, right? So these are my essentials. What are yours? You can post into the comments below. I'd actually love to hear what are essential to you. Beyond that, might be missing something else, but that's about it. Of course, I need to eat. I need to sleep. Those are essentials. Take care of my life in different ways. Of course, I have to do those things. But in terms of what I find are most important, those are the ones that I want. At one point, I put travel. These days, I would say travel has actually gone down on my list. It's not essential. I haven't been traveling much. I travel once in a while. But I travel for a while was one of my essentials. And then possessions. So I've made a really short list. I like to make a medium-sized list and then even like whittle that down even more. And so for me, possessions would be like, a phone and a computer. So I have a phone, I have a computer. Um, those are essential. Books, of course, but I think, a minimal number of books for me. I like having some tools. I consider a pocket knife a tool. Is it essential? I could probably do without a pocket knife. I like it. I'm going to keep a pocket knife in my life. I actually have a little collection of pocket knives, which is not so minimalist, but I like having a pocket knife for different occasions. I have big, beefy ones. I have lightweight ones for hiking. I have, dressy ones. I have a watch. I have a wedding ring. I have a set of clothes, a pretty minimal set of clothes. Backpack for traveling. Um, a chessboard, and a clock. I have some workout stuff. I actually have a set of weights and a chin-up bar that I'm looking at right there. I have a meditation cushion. So it would be something like that. There might be a few others. So those are mine, though. Those might not be at all yours, right? Maybe you need some woodworking tools. Maybe you need, something else. Maybe you like knitting. Maybe you're into, maybe you can't live without plants. So, figure out what it is for you. If, a cat or dog is really important to you, put that on there. If you need to surf, put your surfboard and wetsuit on there. If it's art, have your art related stuff. But for me, those would be mine. And so from those two lists, what I want to spend my time on and what I want to like have as possessions, I can actually construct a fairly simple life. And the interesting thing is, what would I leave off? And I might notice like, ooh, there's actually a handful of things I'm spending my time on that aren't on my essentials list. And that gives me a place to look when I want to simplify. Does that mean I need to like completely delete everything that's not on my essentials list? No, but I might start to let go of some of those. Maybe some I can like, you know, uh, fulfill the obligation that I have for the short term. Like I have, a month left on this thing. Maybe I don't go beyond that. Maybe I start telling people, hey, I can do this for the next couple of months and then, I need to withdraw. So you have time to find my replacement. Maybe I tell people, sorry, I just can't do this anymore, like immediately. And so I can start to like release some of my obligations and commitments of the things that aren't essential to me to start to make time for the things that are. So that's what I would say would be a third step. Once you have the first two lists, start to reduce some of the things that aren't essential. And 3B, besides the obligations, the places where you're spending your time, what are the possessions that you have that aren't on your essentials list? And so I might start to let go of some of those possessions. I'm like, I've got this big pile of things here that I don't need. How do I get these out of my life? Slowly, one at a time. Maybe I run to the charity shop or Goodwill, that kind of donation place. Maybe I start giving it away to others. Maybe I sell things. Maybe I recycle. So I start to reduce things. And then the fourth tip would be to start to slow down and enjoy really simple times. When I say really simple times, it's like, could you go out for a walk out in nature and not bring your phone? So slow down and enjoy that walk. Really begin to appreciate every moment of that walk. A little bit like a mindfulness practice, right? But also an appreciation practice, a gratitude practice. So, you go out for that walk and you really slow down and appreciate it. And you can do that with any activity. Slow down and appreciate your workout, or if you're going to be learning something or reading a book, slow down and really start to appreciate that. I also, as a fifth tip, is learning to live without and actually be okay without it. So, for example, let's say one of the things you're spending a lot of your money on is alcohol or weed or, whatever it is, um, you know, sugary stuff. You're like, I have to have my big thing of soda or my big thing of sugary coffee. Okay. It's like a have to, right? But it's like, actually, does this really add to my life? It's maybe making my health worse. Maybe it's like draining my bank account slowly. Not necessarily that one coffee drink, but maybe if I'm buying three of them a day, I don't, like I could be reclaiming that $20-$30 a day. That adds up, right? It could add up to buying a car eventually. Mick, could I do without a car? That's actually an interesting one. And I've done these experiments. I've gone without a car for four years or so, and we rode bikes, we walked, we took public transit, things like that. And that was with a wife and six kids, by the way. So, we did what are those zip cars? They're like kind of a car sharing service when we needed it, but other than that, we did without a car like 99% of the time. That was like an experiment of going without. So, can you go without online shopping? Can you go without alcohol? You don't have to, but simplifying can sometimes be letting go of things that feel like that you can't do without them, right? And so we can like, oh, maybe I can go without buying something for 30 days. That's a fun kind of experiment. Can you go without Instagram or other social media, TikTok? Can you go without porn? Can you go without TV? And the answer is yes, you can, but we have to start to let go of it. And then when we have the cravings, we have to find other simpler way to meet those needs. If, it's like, oh, this is my stress, smoking is my stress relief. Okay, what else will you do when you have a need for stress relief? So learning to live without would be another kind of example of my next thing that I would give as a way to live a simple life. Now, there are many others. I'm not going to go into every detail here, but these are some of the big ones that I think are important. I'd love to continue to explore the theme of simple living on this YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please give it a like. Let me know this is an important topic to you. Put a comment, subscribe. I love subscribers. We've just passed 10,000, and I want to just say thank you to every subscriber. That's really, really amazing. That was our short-term or intermediate goal, and so we're really happy with that. I don't know what the next goal will be. Maybe it's 20,000, but we're celebrating that. If you'd like to go deeper into this topic with me in Fearless Living Academy, link down below to join Fearless Living. It's not that much per month, and you'll get tons of great content, not just on the theme of simplicity, but on habits, changing a ton of habits, mindfulness, learning to like find your purpose and make an impact in the world. These are some of the things we go deep into in Fearless Living Academy, plus a community, a monthly webinar for members. We have an app. We have accountability. We have focus sessions to do focus work. There's an incredible amount of things in Fearless Living Academy. It's actually like 100 times the worth of the price. So if that's for you, come check it out. I'd love to explore simplicity with you and more. This is Leo saying goodbye. Thank you for watching. I hope you find a way to your simple living. Talk to you all later.